This is a story about possibly the worst day of my life as well. My dad was an amazing person. He was born on January 1st, 1956. He moved to LA, California when he was 19, got a job as a car salesman. My mom moved to Fullerton and had 4 kids, and me being number 3. My dad, he was this short, and he was like this fat. But, I mean, he was a great guy. He was sweet, he was caring, he loved his family, the rock of the family. But he was also, a lot of Asian families, very physical in the family. And being a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker didn't help at all. And, I mean, he would smack you for no reason. Like, I'm doing my homework and I get a problem wrong, he hits me. I'm just, like, I didn't learn anything from that, just hit me. Yes. Oh, sorry. And then my mom got sick of it. So we finally moved to Philadelphia where her parents lived, and we lived there for about 2 years. And me being a kid, my dad moved back to LA while we were in Philadelphia, and I was a kid. I just had my fun there, saw snow for the first time, made new friends. And then in 2003, we moved back to Fullerton, and my dad came back to live with us. So I was pretty happy, I was in 6th grade, my dad came back, awesome, yay, learning all the values of the family, I mean, he would teach me things like, oh, do everything by yourself, don't ever let a woman do anything if you can do it yourself, good values. So I was like, okay, this guy changed, awesome. And then his old habits came back, started drinking again, smoking more, getting really physical again, and my mom finally divorced when I was in 7th grade, so about a year after we moved back. And after that, my dad left. I mean, I don't even remember the guy leaving. My memories of that time are very vague, so I just remember, he would be calling me every day, trying to be that dad that wasn't in the house, oh, where are you? What time is it? It's late. Get your ass home. Do your homework. Go to school. Stuff like that. And, me being that little kid, I was just like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I love you too, that, bye, and I just go off doing whatever I wanted again. And then I would hang out with him every weekend, go to his house in LA, sleep over his house, we go watch movies, go to gun shows and car shows, and my little brother too, stupid guy stuff, But then as I got older, going into high school, I got more and more friends. I didn't want to hang out with my dad on the weekend. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to go drink. I wanted to, do all this stupid stuff high school kids do. So I started seeing him from every weekend to every other weekend to always spend out to, once every couple months. And then in 2011, I started getting really close to my current best friend. His name is Brian, and I would go on family trips with him. He would go on family trips with me, and he never met my dad. All he knew about my dad was just a voice over the phone. So I was like, okay, let's go meet my dad then. So probably one of the first times I actually called my dad and said, hey, let's hang out. So I go to LA with my friend Brian, and we meet my dad, normal introduction, everything was fine, cool. My dad trying to be funny, crack jokes, ate dinner, and as I was leaving back to my friend's car to go home, my dad, he's a really awkward, funny guy. He was like, son, and I turn around like, yeah, and he just goes, love you, right? And I'm like, I'm with my friend. I'm just like, oh yeah, love you too, See you later, Dad. A week later, I got a call from my grandpa saying that my dad fainted and had to go to the hospital. And if it's just some guy fainting, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. He wouldn't sound so serious, but he sounded really heartbroken and devastated. So I started freaking out. I rushed home. Grandpa picked me up and took me to the hospital in LA. From there, I found out that my dad was diagnosed with hepatitis B and liver cancer from all of the alcohol and the cigarettes, and that was around the time his business went under, so yeah, and it sucked, it hurt, but I learned that, people come and go, and you can just do what you can to have them, keep them in your memories. That's the worst day of my life.